Good morning, one and all. Myself Bhavani from Civil Department. Today I'm going to give the lecture on a National Disaster Management Act. Why? Because in the last class we have discussed on pre-disaster stage, and when these different types of approaches that are happening in the disaster management, and here National Disaster Management Act, it is nothing but the government, they introduced this act to why? Because this, if the disasters are happening, means how we have to manage in our country. So likewise in our India also, this National Disaster Management Act is developed by the government in 2005, means how to manage this how to manage the society when these disasters are happening or happened also. Okay, and here I'm going to give the brief explanation of this National Disaster Management Act, that is in 2005. And here this National NDMA, it is the short form of National Disaster Management Act. It is a comprehensive legal framework which is enacted by the government of India to ensure that if any effective disaster is happened in our country, means so that some management system should be there in our India to manage this type of disaster when it is happened. Okay, so this NDMA is introduced in our country to ensure an effective disaster management system in the country. And mainly this NDMA is this establishes the overall legal, financial, institutional, and also the coordinational mechanisms at various levels of the government for managing these disasters. Okay, and mainly when this National Disaster Management Act is how it is processed, means mainly it is passed by the Rajya Sabha in the year 2005, that is upper house of the Parliament of India, on date 28 November, and mainly in the lower house of the Parliament, Lok Sabha also, it is passed on the month December, that is on 12th in the year 2005 only, but it received the assent of the President on 9th January 2006. Okay, and in this one, in this overall act, this will be having the almost 11 chapters and also 79 sections. Okay, and here what they developed means how the when any disaster occur, means how we have to be provide the effective management of this disaster when it affected the country. Okay, and here this acts is only affected in the India only, and here how it this act, what it's provide means the effective management of the disasters and for the matters that are connected therewith or incidental thereto, means when this disaster happen, means how we have to means respond to the type of disasters. These are all happening in this NDMA Act. And here overview of these key provisions that are in NDMA is, according to 2005 Act only, it is to provide the effective management of the disasters in India, and next is to lay down policies, plans, and also the guidelines for the disaster management. Means when these disasters occur, how we are going to manage the overall means we have to, government have to take the lead, and they have to provide the overall shelters to them, shelters for the people who are affected from these disasters. And also here we have to be very much active when these disasters are going to be happen, and when it is happened and after it is happened, at any time, government have to be very much active if these disasters happened in our country. And also this NDMA Act, it also established the institutional structures for disaster management at the national, state, and also the district level. Why? Because if our infrastructure is strong, means automatically if any disaster happen, our infrastructure cannot be collapsed because of this disasters also. So likewise we will be having this means if you are going to construct the very high rise buildings or any hydraulic structures means we have to be arrange the very good quality materials and high grade concrete should be used at that time. So these are all can be include. These are all can be we can see in this NDMA Act means our institutional structures also, whether it may be national or whether it may be state or whether it may be district also. Overall, this NDMA Act, it established the institutional structures for the disaster management here. And next is what are the main key provisions here means how means in this NDMA Act, how it is established and what is the function of this one, what are the key provisions we can see in this NDMA 2025 Act is, it is established under the Act by the Prime Minister first of all. It is the apex body, it is a main body which is responsible for the laying down and policies and planning and also the guidelines for the disaster management means how we are going to construct our buildings and how we are going to save the people at that time and how we are going to provide the overall food facilities or hospitality for them. Overall, it can be included in this NDMA Act means overall our infrastructure, everything means any disaster happen, how we are going to sustain and how government have to act at that time. These are all can be seen in this NDMA. And here, what is the main function of this NDMA means it will its responsibilities. It includes the overall formulating of this disaster management, it approving the overall national disaster management plan means with the coordination of this enforcement and also the implementation of the disaster management policies here. Why? Because when we are going to follow these disaster management act policies only, we can be very much safe towards the disasters here. Next one is State Disaster Management Authority, and in this one, what is means establishment is, it can be seen this type of State Disaster Management Authority is considered to each state here means in overall our country we are having 29 states, and for this 29 states this disaster management authority can be given. Why? Because by allowing this state disaster management authority, it is required to establish on SDMA that can be chaired by the chief minister mainly. Why? Because chief minister is the main personality for any state government, and what is the main role of this SDMA is to develop the state level disaster management policies, and they have to ensure that policies can be implemented compulsorily when these disasters can be happen. Okay, and what is the main function of this SDMA is to firstly, when in that disaster management authority act, if that policies or plans are there means that policies and plans have to be established in that state. Okay, and in the state these they have to coordinating the execution of the plan and also providing the guidelines towards the government authorities also. Why? Because these chief minister have to provide each and every information on this SDMA. Why? Because he is called as a head of the state. Okay, means he have to execute the plans, he have to plan that overall means how they are going to act when these disasters are going to happen, what are their plans and what are the policies we are going to follow at that time, means after the disaster what are the policies we are going to give to the people and how we are going to provide the guidelines towards the authorities also. Okay, these are all can be seen in this state disaster management authority. And next one is district disaster management authority, and here this can be seen in the district level here. It can be just it can be means led by the district collector with the elected representative of the local authority as the co-chairperson. Why? Because for any district, collector is the head of that district, and according to the government he have to be the chairperson for that DDMA, and co-chairperson will be this elected representative of the local authority. And what is the main function of this one is it is responsible for the planning, coordinating and implement the disaster management activities, and also in governments with the guidelines of the SDMA also. Means from the mainly from NDMA guidelines can be given to the SDMA, and from SDMA guidelines can be given to the DDMA. Means from state authority they will get the guidelines. Means so this have to follow at that for this disaster management, and this have to follow at this time. These are all policies and planning can be done firstly by the national level, and after that state level, after that district level can be seen. So if this district disaster management authority, if they have to follow, means they have to follow the overall guidelines coming from the state level. Okay. And next one is National Institute of Disaster Management. And here, what we can see in this National Institute of Disaster Management, it is established only to provide the training and capacity building programs for the disaster management. Means how when this disaster management we are going to follow, means we have to provide the training and also the capacity building programs for the disaster management. Mainly what it includes means it includes the research, documentation and the development of the national level information on the disaster management policies. Means these national institute people, they already know the guidelines that will be given by the government from the NDMA. Okay. And from that one they will take the data and they will develop the overall that policies, and they are going to update these policies also sometimes. And why? Because these people, what they will do means what is the functionality of these people means they have to conduct the various tests and means researches they have to do, documentation they have to do, they have to develop in the overall national level information on the disaster management policies here. And next is functionality. Means here what is the main function of this NIDM means it includes the training towards the government officials and conducting research on this disaster risk reduction. Means if in their state or in our country some of the areas are prone towards this disaster, means when these disasters are happening, means government have to take the lead and they have to means make the people very safe before disaster can be happen. Means these people what they will do means they will take out the people and they will provide the training towards the government officials. Means when this disaster can be happen, these people can be come forward and they will help the people, and so that disaster risk can be reduction, and they are going to promote the overall knowledge sharing and best practices can be seen in disaster management here. Why? Because when these disasters occurred, it can't be say immediately these disasters can be happen. Means how much magnitude these are going to be happen, at what time these are going to be happen. Everything these meteorological people sometimes they can't give accurately. Means these people, these NIDM people, what they will do means they will provide training towards the government officials. Means when they are providing them with both the knowledge and also the physical strength they are going to give, and also some people these NIDM people they will give them overall knowledge towards the government officials to do the research on this overall disaster management. Means previously how many disasters are happened and what are the mitigation processes we are taken at that time, and what is the next, if any next disaster is happening, means what we can do. These are all can be researched by this NIDM people, and they will give the best results after conducting the various researches, so that they can develop the national level information on this disaster management policies. And next one is National Disaster Response Force, and this is the very specialized force that is constituted for disaster response and also the rescue operations. Means they have to be ready for the rescue operations. Means when these disasters happen, they have to respond immediately and rescue that overall um, area people immediately. And mainly it is functioned under the NDMA, and it is trying to respond with the wide range of disaster. And in this one, what this National Disaster Response Force, what they will do means they first train the people, and they are going to after these people train the government officials. They that government officials like task force or polices, these can be go towards the disaster area, and they will rescue and relieve the both the people and also some of the means infrastructure properties during this disaster. And it is mainly involved the overall capacity, uh, involved in the capacity of the buildings, and also the community awareness programs can be conducted by these NDRF people. And so that when these people they give them workshops or any lectures towards the normal people also, they can be very much aware how this disaster happened, means how they can easily prepared when these disasters are happening. These people can be do that one. The next one is national plan. And here in this national plan, what is the main requirement of this one is mainly this act is nothing but the preparation of the national disaster management plan, that is by the NDMA only. Mainly it gives the data about the roles and responsibilities of the different agencies and departments during the disaster. Means when these disasters is happening, overall, whether it may be state level or whether it may be district level, overall only polices or any other forces can't be go immediately. Means for this one also, different types of agencies and departments can be trained. Okay, after trying the agencies and also the departments, they just allow that agency people and also the department people to go towards this disaster occurring areas. Okay, and here, what are the main components of this national plan is it includes the guidelines for the disaster prevention, mitigation, preparedness, response, and also the recovery. Why? Because these are all the phases of the disaster management. These mitigation, preparedness means how we are going to prepare when this any disasters happen, and how we are going to respond when this disaster is happening, and how we have to recover ourselves after some time only when these disasters happen. These are all can be seen in this national plan. And mainly it also provide the framework for the disaster risk reduction across the various sectors here. Means how these disasters can be reduced, and some framework can be done by this national plan. Okay. Next one is state and district plan. And here, whether it may be state level or whether it may be district level, each state is required to prepare a SDMP in line with the national plan. Means with a reference to the national plan only, this state disaster management plan can be seen, and mainly what it will address means it will address the specific vulnerabilities and also the risk of the state here. And next one is district plan. And here in this district plan, each district must have the district disaster management plan. Means they have to ensure that they can take the data from the state and also the national people. Means they can ensure coordination with the state and national efforts also. Why? Because if any district, they have to rely on the state also. The state people, they have to rely on the national people. Means whether it may be in case of budget or whether it may be in case of the safety measures. Okay. Next one is funding mechanisms. And here, these NDRF, this is one of the funding agency where they can provide the financial assistance for the immediate relief operations during the disasters. Means, of course, for rescue the people and to send them to the hospitals, and that overall cost can be taken from this National Disaster Response Fund only. Means these people only, they will give the financial support for the immediate relief operations during any disasters is happen. And next one is State Disaster Response Fund. And here these each state will be having the state disaster response fund. Why? Because for each and every state in our India, whether it may be budget or whether it may be some other allocations, for each state there will be funds released by the government, national government. Means as well as here also funds can be released during the disasters. Means when these disasters happen, immediately they have to take the funds and they have to respond towards the disasters. Means they have to save their people at that time. Immediately they have to save them people. And if the funds is not there, means they can save immediately. So for each state, there will be this funding agency, that is a state disaster response fund. Here they will just use this SDRF for the disaster response and also the relief activity at the state level. And next one is penalties and offences. Means here what is meant by these penalties and also the offences means mainly this act will prescribe the penalties for non-compliances with the professions like relief work, refusal towards the comply with the directives, and making false claim for relief, like that. When people done means what some of the government officials what they will do means they can't know the exact situation of that disaster area. They will just some number easily. They will just some number and this much of people they died at that time. But when they go to that means when another officials when they go to that disaster area, they will come to know that another official he told the lies. Means what they will do means they have to penalty have to given by that person. Okay. Why? Because they have to tell the data on this disasters, and that will be very much good for the helping hands towards the people. Means these when there is obstruction of the relief work also will be there, whether it may be or a refusal towards the comply with these directives and also making false statements for the relief also. These are all comes under this penalties, and some of the government officials can be seen taken by these penalties also. Okay, these are the salient features, and here in this salient features, first one is holistic approach. And in this holistic approach, this overall NDMA, it adopts the holistic approach towards the disaster management. It will cover the overall phases of the disaster management, whether it may be mitigation or whether it may be recovery, preparedness, response, everything it can be done by this NDMA. And next one is multi-level governance. And here mainly this NDMA, what they will do means it establish the multi-tiered governance structure. Means where these defined roles and responsibilities for national level, state level and district level can be clearly given by this NDMA only. And next one is community participation. And in this community participation, this NDMA emphasizes the importance of the community participation and integration of the overall local knowledge in the disaster management planning and also the execution here. Means how we are going to plan and also how we are going to execute the overall for the safeness of the people and for also the preparedness of the people, how the planning and execution can be done. These are all data will be given by this NDMA. Next one is it will focus us on the risk reduction, and this NDMA people, it promotes a shift from reactive emergency response towards the proactive disaster risk reduction and also the preparedness. Means by this act we can easily proactive this disaster risk reduction. Means by seeing this overall NDMA act, we can save the people when they are, means we can be very much aware when these disasters happen, means how much of the damage can be done by this overall, whether it may be state or whether it may be districts also. So they will this NDMA people, they have to be very they have to be preparedness can be seen in them, and also proactive disaster risk reduction can be seen, and immediate response can be seen by this act also. And next one is capacity building. And here, mainly it emphasizes on the training, research, and education of the build capacity for effective disaster management across the levels of the government and also the society. And in our society, most of the people means we can give the lectures or we can give them, we have to educate the people how they can save themselves when these disasters are happening. Means some training can be given to them, and also by doing some research and education for these people also, we can be able to save some people from these disasters. Okay, and these are the references books, and here I already gave you the disaster management, that is NDMA web link. You can also search from this. Thank you everyone.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.